Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Thursday, the 28th of September, and Friday, the 29th of September, 2017. As usual, we don't do a market preview for the week, or for the Friday at the end of the week, because we've already had the market play out, do what it was supposed to do for the week. Here's the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the S&P in futures form. Nothing. We're still right where we've been. We've gone dead flat for the last 2 weeks. And other than 2 days up before that, we've been dead flat for the last 2 months. And we'll go through the major indices, then we'll look at the intraday action, and we'll set out the roadmap for the rest of the week. And again, there's not a ton left, so we'll see what we end up with here. All right, so let's look at the crude oil down 9 cents to 52.05. Not a big deal. Gold down 13.90. That's new lows for the last 2 months. S&P cash index was up 10, but again, still in that horrible range. NDX, the NASDAQ 100, up 56.45, still down for the last couple of weeks, still operating under the 13 sell signal with the risk line, the pink line there. SOX up 26.6. This looks a little more positive for the semiconductors, but it would have to break out soon to hold that. Biotechs have just been drifting sideways. Horrible. This is the worst action I've seen in biotechs in a long time. Plus 22 is nothing there, and it's been this way for 3 weeks. The VIX closes under 10 again at 9.87. Horrible action. Trend at 0.84. 10-day moving average at 1.03. NASDAQ volume, 2 billion shares. We've had some good volume the last, 4 out of the last 6 days, basically. But it's not leading to movement yet. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ plus 873. Advanced decline ratio on the New York was plus 364. Google gains back 22.47 points. That helped a lot in NASDAQ, obviously. Apple just up $1, and it's still near the lows of the last 2 months. Amazon at $12.27. It's kind of a blip on Amazon. Netflix up $2.59 after selling off the last couple of days. Tesla did not get helped out here, down 4.28, selling off sharply. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, bonds were down big. New 2-month lows there. Goldman Sachs up $4.82, still in the range of the last since April, May, or March or April even. All right, here's a look at the 5-minute charts on the futures. So after Tuesday, we had the gap up. We filled the gap and then dead flat. Wednesday, we gapped up a little bit more, still filled the gap, dead flat over lunch, and then a little rally. Some of the conversation was about the tax plan that's been released by the White House. Not that that's probably going to have a major impact on the economy at this point in time. And there's a lot to get it passed still. And then we sold off in the last few minutes of the day. NASDAQ side, about the same. Nothing really different there. All right, so in terms of action and stuff that's left for the week, here's the big problem. Friday is end of month, and it's a Friday. It's still a late summer Friday, and it is end of quarter, so the statements print. So by Friday, we should be dead. Thursday could also be dead. Typically what happens, they'd like to hold the stocks up right here to print the end of month, end of quarter statements. So typically you'd say the week's already over, but we'll see what happens. Got GDP at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That's the final look from the second quarter. International trade and goods. Jobless claims, that's the weekly number. That's the continuing and new. Corporate profits, all at 8:30 a.m. We've got the Bloomberg Consumer Comfort Index at 9:45. We got natty gas an hour into the market. On Friday, personal income and spending at 8:30. Chicago PMI at 9:45. Consumer sentiment at 10. That'll wrap it up for the week, the month, the quarter. And then we go into October, what is typically the better trading time of year. September historically has been one of the most negative months of the year. Didn't happen this year. Nothing happened this year. If you look at the NASDAQ side, by the way, remember, let's look at what the statements are going to read. You take from the 1st of July to right now, and you're basically dead even. So those statements aren't going to print anybody any big bonuses this time around unless the market really rallies the next 2 days for some reason. That's it. We'll just see what we get. Thursday, hopefully a little more action. Friday, probably not, unless there's some news. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Thursday and Friday.